Okay, hi guys. I am coming to do a video that is going to be quite different than any of the other videos I've ever done. In an effort to be very transparent with my subscribers, I I get a lot of comments and everyone is always commenting on how positive I am in my videos. And even on Instagram, I get people saying, I wish I could be as happy as you are in your pregnancy, in my pregnancy, or you're so positive, especially considering the circumstances I'm under with having an incompetent cervix, and every day is unpredictable. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I don't know if tomorrow I'm going to go into labor way before my due date. I don't know if my cervix will shorten. I don't know if my membranes will rupture. There are certain things that are very uncertain to me. However, I try not to look at the negative and focus on the positive. But there's something that I do not talk about, and I've never talked about it on camera. And I just decided to do the video today because today is one of my down days. And you may not see the sparkle in my eye or the happiness that you normally see in me. So anyway, I'm coming to talk about depression. It is something that I've struggled with for the majority of my life, and especially when I'm pregnant. It typically gets worse. I have gone to several see psychologists and therapists and to be treated, but I have commitment issues, and so my therapist that I didn't really discover that I had an issue with depression until I was in college, and it was when I became pregnant with my first son. The story behind that is a really long one, and I don't want to get into that one right now, but when I found out that I was pregnant with my son, couple of months into it, I started seeing a therapist because I felt like something wasn't right with my moods. And I started seeing him, and he diagnosed me with depression. And he wanted to do some more follow-ups and kind of dig deeper to see about any other mental illness or anything like that. But as we got deeper into our sessions, he began to talk about things, and I felt like I had told him a lot about my personal history, and I didn't want him to know anything else about me, so I stopped going to therapy because I was like, oh, he knows way too much. Yes, and I tend to do that. So I would see therapists off and on depending on what stage I was in my life, but when I had my son, I was so busy being a mom that I just kind of put like negative feelings in the back of my head. I'm used to just kind of covering things up and smiling and just pretending like everything is alright. And so I busy myself. I throw myself into projects. I have to stay busy because if I'm busy, then I don't think about the things that hurt me or the things that make me sad. I don't think about my feelings. I do things for other people because it's easier for me to focus on someone else than it is for me to focus on my own thoughts and my own dilemmas, So I know I'm not the only one out here that struggles with this. So anyway, today, well, in this pregnancy in particular, I've really been struggling with it. And at first I was like, oh, it's hormones, my hormones all out of whack. It's a girl thing, because I'm pregnant with a girl or something, something crazy. But the other day ago, I was sitting on the floor and I was playing blocks with my son, and I was just crying and crying and crying for no reason. And my son was like, Mommy, you're so silly. Why are you crying, And I was like, I don't know. And I really didn't know why I was crying. I had a very overwhelming day, and I felt like things were not falling into place for me the way that I wanted them to. So but I wasn't expressing those things. I wasn't talking about it, and I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to about it. So, with that and just being in a new city, I haven't made friends the way that I thought I was gonna make friends because I'm not in the capacity to make friends. Like I go to church, and I've made friends, but they're not like deep connections or relationships. You know what I mean? So, it's been really difficult for me to be this social butterfly and not have like any friends or whatever. And of course I have my friends that are back in North Carolina and my friends that are in Virginia, but that's different. They're not here in Texas. So I have that. And when we moved to Texas, I had planned on going to work, and it didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to work out. And I have my real estate license here in Texas now, and I've been dying to use it and go to work and start selling some houses. But I can't afford childcare because it's outrageously priced, and then we're having another baby, and it'll be 3 kids that you're talking about paying for childcare. And then I started thinking, how unrealistic are my expectations? You know, like, I kind of beat myself up about it. I kind of put a lot of pressure on myself and say, you know, it was really stupid of you, Kiara, to think that you were going to be able to go to work and you're getting ready to have 4 kids. So, you know, your place is to be at home. And so these are things that I tell myself, and some of the things I tell myself are very irrational, but, you know, these are the thoughts that go through my head. So, you know, that day I was crying and I just was so down and I was so sad. And I've noticed that my mood has begun to shift, and I have more days where I'm not sleeping very well at night. My thoughts keep me up. And then I wake up and I'm exhausted and I'm in a terrible mood because I haven't slept that night. And it shows. And it's really hard to be a mom when you're broken on the inside. And I try not to, you know, be that way around my boys. And I try to be very positive. And most days I'm having good days. But I noticed just the last few days it's just been kind of going downhill. And I think, honestly, I'm just so overwhelmed and I'm so tired. And I have so much going on. And I feel like I'm all alone. And you know, the commercials are feelings of hopelessness and things like that. You know, that's how I feel. I struggle with having an appetite and eating and having the desire to do anything past what I want to do. But I force myself. I do things for my boys because I have to. But I honestly, most days I need a break. Haven't had a break since I've been here. It's just always me and the kids. And it's like, when you have a job, you get to turn it off. When you get off at 5 or 5:30, you leave your work at home. That's the plan. You get to walk away from that, and then you go to a different setting, and you go and you see your kids that you haven't seen for most of the day, or since you dropped them off at daycare, or and you know, you walk into a different part of your life. And then you wake up and you do it all over again, and then you have your weekends and you do something different. Well, it's not like that for me. It's every day the same thing. Monday through Friday, it's parenting, and then Saturday and Sunday, it's still parenting. It's, you know, there's never a cutoff point. There's no going to grandparents for the weekend. And even when I lived in North Carolina, that was barely an option. The kids' grandparents didn't really offer it very much. They did occasionally, but it wasn't, we never asked because we didn't feel like the doors were open for us to ask. And if they were open, it was always like some strings attached or some contingency. So, you know, we just never, we just didn't follow through with it because it was just too much. So I just feel kind of worn out and drained and tired, and I'm starting to get a little anxious about having a little baby to take care of and not having any help here. And my husband's been doing a lot of work, and I've been really trying really hard to support him in the things that he's doing. But even that gets really hard because I don't think he always sees how things affects everybody else that's around him. So yeah, that's kind of, you know, how I've been going, things have been going for me. And even I have like this pattern, when I get MIA is when I'm having really, really tough days. I distance myself from people and things because I don't want people to feel sorry for me or to have pity on me and things like that. So I definitely struggle with depression, and I finally made an appointment to see someone here in Texas, and I'm going to try to commit to going to her or him. Her. Let's schedule her. And this is a Christian counselor. It's very important to me that I go that route. So, yeah. I'm like trying to hold back tears because like I don't want to cry on camera. I do not like crying in front of people. So, I'm just very overwhelmed. Most days, like I said, I do have very good days, and I am positive in my pregnancy, and the things that you see me in my videos, that is me. But then there's the side that I don't show and I don't talk about, and I don't have like feelings of like suicide or anything like that. But there are most days that I really just want to run away, and I want to hide, and I don't want to be bothered, and I just don't want to deal. I just kind of don't want to exist in that moment or to think about it. I often feel like the whole world is on my shoulders, and I'm the only one that can do anything about it. And I don't. One of my triggers that has happened lately is I have a brother, and my brother stays in a lot of trouble, and he's constantly in and out of jail and things like that. And my family got together a lot of money to bail him out of jail. And I was a little upset because I feel like a lot of times we overlook the people who are really in need. And we are constantly trying to help the people that is like smack dab in our face. They need Jesus. They need help. And those are the people that are the troublemakers. The ones who constantly stay in trouble. And they don't want to be saved. They don't want anybody's help. But yet everybody feels compelled to help them. And then you have a person like me who's like crying for help and really needs help and is desperate for love and desperate for attention. And nobody is there because I don't get in trouble. I don't make a big fuss. I don't ask for anything. I could be, you know, at one point in my life I was homeless, and I didn't say anything. Nobody asked how I was doing, and I didn't offer anybody else advice or insight onto how I was doing. I was like, you know, you don't ask. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to smile and everything is going to be okay. And I just kind of made it through on my own. And it was a terrible time for me. And nobody was with me. Just nobody was there. And, you know, it sucks. And that's why I try to be like such this great parent to my kids. Because nobody was there for me. I didn't have parents who would do that, who cared enough about me to drop what they were doing and make sure I was okay. So I think I have a lot of things that I've dealt with, and I still have a lot of things that I need to deal with. And something about being pregnant brings up a lot of dark things that I don't want to deal with, and I'm not ready to deal with. So hopefully, I think I need to stop because this video is getting really long. And I kind of feel like I just need somebody to talk to, and just maybe YouTube would just listen. So I'm going to end this video because I do think it's long, and I'll come back and I'll try to keep talking through this. So, alright guys, take care. Keep me in your prayers. Bye.